Hey, you know, when disaster strikes, you really want to be prepared. It's interesting because why do we get insurance on our houses? Because we want to have a worry-free lifestyle, right? We don't have to worry about if something happens to our house, will I have a place to live? But do you really think about what happens in a disaster? What are the things you worry about? Well, you worry about how's my home, but certainly how am I going to live? What am I going to eat? And every year we turn to a wonderful company, the Wise Company, to provide us with that insurance policy, that ability to say, no matter what happens, whatever crazy weather or the rain or the snow or the crazy hurricanes we had this year or just an ice storm that hits, you'll never have to worry about having good, hearty, delicious food that you will be able to eat and your family will be able to enjoy. We have the last and final look at our today's special. It is the biggest value we've ever done. It's the most servings we've ever done. And again, I think every host here and everyone I personally know have a Wise food kit. I know I certainly do. I've even shared it with my son. I sent it to college and said, hey, you're not gonna cook for yourself. Make Wise food so you can at least eat good food. And joining me on our very last and final airing is Miss Stephanie. Welcome back.
How are you? And I know you are a huge fan, and I know you own the product, but you have not had cheesy lasagna yet.
Because it's new.
It's brand new to HSN. This is one of the Wise Company's most popular entrees. So I love the fact that as they put together such a huge deal for us, they put a popular product like this in it. I know, and I could do that all day.
So good. So great. And you think, you know, you're thinking, oh, it's going to be dried food, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to have any taste. It's old army food. No, it is so flavorful. It is so delicious. And you know what it is? It's soul satisfying.
Exactly. It's comfort food when you need comfort most. So what Wise does differently than everybody else is that they have chefs putting together these recipes. And that's the difference. The taste is there. And that matters because if you're going to bring home 158 servings, we want you to like it. I know it's emergency food. I know we've been talking preparedness all day, and that is certainly our #1 thing, is encouraging everybody to make the choice to put your family in a situation that no matter what happens, you will be okay. But the bottom line is, let's still like what we're eating, and that is what Wise does differently than everybody else. These are real recipes that taste great, all 158 servings of them. That is cheesy lasagna that all I do is add water. You don't even have to have hot water. Our pots are sitting on a burner just to speed up the process. But literally, I add water, I hang out for 10 to 15 minutes, and that arrives. I mean, this is a concept that I can grasp not just for preparedness, but for the fact that it's Friday night, I've worked all week, I'm tired, and if I can put a meal of this quality on the table for my family, I am in great shape. And obviously, I'm not the only one that thinks so.
And clearly, and it's funny because I enjoy this so much and I believe in it so much that actually over 200,000 have been ordered, and I've had it for my host pick, not once, but twice, and it's always sold out. Now, we want to hear from you. Really, we want to hear your story. This has been a customer pick, and it's interesting because in a minute, I will share with you, and you'll see them kind of popping up down the bottom of the screen. I have 6 pages of full 5-star review on emergency food. Like, you know, who writes a review on emergency food? Because usually it's bland, it doesn't taste good, it's not hearty, I don't know, whatever, we just have it because we need it. This is delicious, and people have gone on to really rave about it and write about it on hsn.com. So I'd love to hear from you tonight. If you have Wise, share the reason why with others. Because I'll tell you what, when we went through these hurricanes this last year, it was never more apparent or clearer to all of us, people in Houston, just people across the country, people in the fires in California, why you must have this. Because when you're in an emergency and you have nothing to eat and you're freaked out and there's problems, and it could be a couple days, it could be several weeks, you don't want that to be one of your high priorities. Can you imagine not having to worry about that so you can worry about all the other crazy stuff that goes along with an emergency? Hey, even when it's gonna snow really bad, I lived up in Ohio and Philly for years, they said big snow, everything wiped out in the stores. Happened every year in the wintertime. It'd be no milk, no bread, no water, because everyone's gonna hunker down at home. You never have to be in that rush. You never have to run to the store at the last second to be prepared. You're prepared, and doing it right now is the smartest way to do it. Now, in front of me you're seeing, and this is huge, we have the best price, we have the most entrees we've ever done, so biggest variety, and Steph will take us through it in just a second, and we have the most servings we've ever done, and yet we've held the price to a brilliant $99.95. Plus, I just want to point out FlexPay because, again, I think this is a must-have. You know, there's lots of things that we would like to have. This is something we need to have. Like to have, pair of earrings. Need to have, really great food during an emergency. That also, Stephanie, I think will last, and that's a big deal as well.
It certainly will.
What is the shelf life?
The shelf life is up to 25 years, and let me tell you how that works while I give you a taste of teriyaki rice. We've been talking about what Wise does to put this food together that sets them apart from everything else. A lot of it is how the packaging is put together. You like the teriyaki rice? To me, that is like your favorite carryout right there.
It totally
Isn't that, it gets that craving thing satisfied.
Oh, it's great.
So again, whether it's an emergency or whether you just need a quick meal to put on the table, Wise behind the scenes in the factory with the people they hire have made this an amazing experience. In the factory, they have brought technology out that is unparalleled in the industry. What they've done is they have been able to package the product in what's called a modified atmospheric package. Okay, what does that mean to you? That means this package shuts out stuff that makes food go bad. It blocks out the oxygen, it blocks out the humidity, and it seals all these amazing chef-inspired recipes into this pouch that when you keep it in a cool, dry place, all 158 servings will be there whenever you need them for up to 25 years. Teriyaki rice that tastes like your favorite carryout for 25 years whenever you need it. It's an amazing concept, and it's one that can really change both your peace of mind for potential emergency situations or simply your everyday life. A busy working mom, you get a bad cold, your child is sick, and just going out in the winter weather is not a good solution. It's okay, you can still get dinner on the table. So we all define our emergencies differently. We want you to continue to prepare for the big what ifs in life. That is what today these events are all about. But I'm telling you, sometimes those everyday emergencies make this purchase so much more valuable than you may even realize when you do it. This food tastes good. It is a customer pick. That tells me that people are taking it home. They are giving it a try. As Suzanne said, there are hundreds of reviews that talk about the taste.
Oh, it's amazing.
People are eating the food. And whether you give it a try just to see if we really do know what we're talking about, or whether you give it a try and realize that you do enjoy eating it, because again, all I'm doing is adding water. Do not let this pot and burner mislead you. You do not have to add hot water. In an emergency, tap water, bathtub water, anything that is potable, safe drinking water of any kind will reconstitute this food. Obviously, we like it a little better hot. Most of us, especially this time of year, enjoy a hot meal. But if there is a power outage and you are not able to heat the water, this food still has that great consistency. It still has that great flavor, no matter what the temperature of your water. And that's really what sets Wise apart from the competitors out there. Not only is the taste unparalleled, but this food requires no simmering. And you gotta be careful, because sometimes it's called emergency food, but yet you have to simmer the food, and that has never made sense to me, because I don't know about you, but I don't want to keep propane burners, though they're great, in my emergency kit.
Right.
I want to know that I can grab
it
158 servings, and that's why this is in a bucket with handles, and go. Waterproof, bug-proof, you know, drop-proof. It is a seriously sturdy bucket. It's a great handle, and I don't like to think about grab and go, but you know what, boy, with all the things that have happened in the last year, just weather-wise, go has become a factor. Flooding, you gotta go.
Right.
Fire, you gotta go.
Yep.
Whatever it is, the weather issues across the country,
no, wait.
Unbelievable.
We have to explain this, though.
Yeah,
this is a crazy map.
That is a crazy map.
Because that's showing you all the severe conditions within all of last year across the country. Yeah, I mean, east of Texas, it's everybody, all of us on this side. And then there's a whole lot out there as well. I mean, you know, California, the things that obviously happened in Houston last year. But look at that. All of us are affected by this. And I'm telling you, it's really interesting because it was really a wake-up call for us here. And, you know, we've had bad weather. We always have a lot of rain in the summertime. But boy, when those hurricanes were barreling down, it was that reality check. It was that moment that you just went, oh, are we really ready? And then it's that aha moment. Now, my family, we are. I have had Wise food in my house ready ready to go for several years since we launched it, really. I am so passionate about this because I think there's nothing worse than not having food in an emergency situation. You know that. You could be without power, without your fridge. You could be without a cooler for days and days and days, and yet you're gonna be able to eat hearty food, and while you're waiting for help or while you're waiting for things to settle down, you're eating really good food, and it makes you feel good and it makes your family feel good. Do not go another day, another evening, another month, really without having this, because once you have it, you never have to think about it. But when you need it, you're gonna go, oh my gosh, thank goodness I picked it up. Now, why get it tonight? Because after tonight, the price is going to jump to $149. It goes up basically $50 tonight at midnight, and we're only a couple hours from that. So why spend $50 more when you don't have to? Also, again, we'd love to have your phone calls. If you have the Wise food, if you've eaten it, or if you just bought it because of the last emergency, or maybe something happened, or maybe you just are well prepared, please share your story, because everybody's story is very different. Mine certainly was the hurricane, although we're prepared as freaks anyway, but certainly that was kind of the aha moment, realizing how close we came to really being in really bad shape. Really bad shape in this area.
And think about all the other people that have realized that across the country.
Or it happened to them.
Or it happened to them. You know, they've called the flooding in Houston from Harvey the 1,000-year flood. You know, you hear that and you think, okay, if it only happens once every 1,000 years, I'm safe. Well, not so much. You know, I mean, things happen. I do want to point out real quickly, in the 5 minutes we've been talking, look at how this has gone from a powdered consistency to a thick, we're about 3/4 of the way there, cheesy lasagna. We're going to let it sit a little bit more so that you can see how it really thickens up into essentially what is the equivalent of a casserole. I would have layered, mixed in 5 bowls. Lasagna is a pain in the rear to make, and then bake into the oven. And I am able to get that simply from the food inside a shelf-stable pouch, a pouch that will be there whenever you need it. If you are having one of those cravings where you just need a good, solid, comforting meal, and you don't have the patience or maybe even the time or ability to make lasagna, this can be for you. I know we've talked about sending it to kids in college.
That's what I did.
I think that's a genius idea.
I sent one of our Today Specials to my son because he wasn't cooking, and I said, look, if you can heat water up, you're gonna now eat. And he was literally eating from it.
Right.
I mean, that was kind of what he was eating. He was in a dorm, he didn't like the cafeteria food.
Callie did the same thing.
I did. I said,
boys.
Here's some Wise food. Also, if you really think about the economics of this, so I did a little math. How much does it cost for you to run through a drive-through to feed like yourself or your kids, grandkids, whoever, somebody in your family? It actually is gonna be, what, $7, $8 per head. Per serving in our Today's Special, it comes out to 63 cents.
Correct.
I mean, let that sink in. That's per serving. That is a lot of food for a lot of folks. That's amazing at 63 cents. So just when you talk about the value, just that equation by itself, to me, it's evident that this is a great pick. Obviously, it was cheaper for me to feed my son by sending it to him, obviously, because it was like, hey, 63 cents a serving. That's pretty cheap. I do want to mention, though, too, that you cover all meals as well.
Yes.
So let's talk about how grand the package is.
Okay, we're going to break down the 158 servings for you because there's so many different types of flavors, and also the 3 meals a day get covered. So within these servings, there are 10 different lunch and dinner entrees. I love the variety. We've got the cheesy mac, the creamy vegetable rotini, the cheesy lasagna, the teriyaki rice, the Alfredo, the stroganoff, the tomato basil soup, the chicken noodle soup, the Southwest rice and beans rice, and also chicken tortilla soup. 3 different breakfast style entrees. The brand new organic oatmeal. Wise customers were asking to have something organic included, so we were able to do that. And then talk about value, organic at a value. Those two words don't usually show up in the same sentence.
That's very
so
true.
I love that we're doing that. And then also the apple cinnamon maple brown sugar oatmeal, and then yogurt, vanilla pudding, a couple of sweeter things, because you know what, if we're in a situation where we're eating out of our emergency food for an extended period of time, you're gonna want something sweet. And then 3 pitchers of whey milk. I love this because we've always included whey milk. Milk is such an important comfort thing, especially for kids and families. But we heard that we need more of that. The milk is great. The kids need it. The kids crave it. That's just something about sitting down